Welcome to Reparenting Your Inner Child. We are currently looking at 12 passages that the Lubavitcher Rebbe taught, gave over as a goal for children to study and base their sense of self and way of being in the world upon. I think that those verses are very useful for adults to use as well in terms of realigning ourselves with the truth. So what we're going to look at today is the sixth of those passages, and it reads as follows. Behold, God stands over her, and the whole world is full of his glory. He looks upon her and examines her innermost thoughts and feelings to see if she is serving him appropriately. Now, obviously, the verse reads in the male. I'm also speaking to women as well. What are we being taught in this verse? God stands over her. So many people might have an initial response to this verse of, oh, well, here's this punitive God and he's standing and watching over you, etc. The first thing is, it's not really that bad to have a sense of accountability to something that is outside of ourselves, which we internally very much want to connect with. What that means is, yeah, I don't only have to be in love with God, I can be in awe of God. There's a certain level of fear of God, which is fear of punishment. That's a lower level fear. I do something and I'm afraid that I'm going to be punished if I do it. But then there is another sense that I have such reverence for my Creator that I am afraid to violate that connection. The word chet is not only sin, but a lack. That means when a person fears sin, they fear the lack that comes from doing that sin. And ultimately, if we want people to be living according to the truth, they're going to have to find their own connection with God and accountability that is not dependent upon anyone watching them. So, when the cat's away, the mice will play is something that we really don't want to be governing our lives. When someone's there, you're behaving in the eye of others, you want to present yourself a certain way, and yet when you're alone, well, you can let go. Or when no one's watching, whether it's in the privacy of your home or outdoors on the street, no one's watching me, so I can get away with it, and why not? V'hine, behold, God stands over him, is observing me, you, all of us. That tells us, you know what? I am accountable because of an absolute truth. Then we come to another dimension of this verse, which says each of us has to develop a very personal relationship with God. Because there could be a sense of big brothers watching you, or, oh my gosh, I can't get away with what I want to because God knows what's going on, and how am I going to get away with it and hide from him? But there's something else, which is if I really love someone, I'm engaged with them, I watch over them. When I read this verse or say it, I'm reminded of a compass. It doesn't matter which way you turn, north is north and south is south. The compass is going to be pointing to magnetic north, whether you are facing north or you're facing south. And here we have the notion, God is standing above the person, in front of the person. Wherever I go, I can be turning this way, God is there. And not in a way of onerous watching over me, but in the sense of he cares about me. We are face to face, and God cares about what I do. That means I'm actually developing a personal relationship with God. And what does he do? He checks me to see, am I in alignment with him in my thoughts, in my feeling, in my way of being in the world? And sensing he cares as much as he cares gives me not only a feeling of being accountable to someone who watches all my actions, but of being loved by someone who cares who cares for me so deeply that He is constantly before me.